Ooh, Doggy, what is going on? I hope and pray that you are all doing phenomenally well. Let me ask you, have you ever wondered who is responsible for paying the fees on your wholesale transactions? Maybe your agent fees, your title fees, your survey fees, right? Who's responsible for paying those? Well, in this video, that's what I'm going to be covering for the fifth time. I want you to know, just a side rant, this is the fifth time I've tried to record this video where I just kept stumbling on my words. So this go around, I'm going to just let it play. If there's any hiccups, there's hiccups, okay? I'm sorry, I'm not going to keep redoing it. But please like, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff. The channel is growing and it just makes my heart melt with joy because we are spreading the word. We're making an impact and people are getting the knowledge that they need to go out there and start transforming their life through real estate investing. And that is what this is about to me. Now, let's get into the content. Let's say, for example, you have a property under contract. You got your end buyer lined up. You got everything sent over to the title company and closing day is approaching, right? Let's go over who's responsible for the most important thing right off the bat, the title fees, closing fees, right? Normally, that is responsible for the end buyer. On the front of that transaction, when I'm actually talking and negotiating with the seller, I let them know that, hey, we as the end buyer will pay all of the closing costs. Now, remember, when I go to assign that contract, that now becomes the end buyer, and they are responsible for paying those closing costs. For us here in Texas, I mean, it's normally just a couple of $1,000s. It's nothing insane. So most of them are okay with that. I would venture to say that 99.9% of real estate investors, active buyers who buy regularly, are completely okay with paying the closing costs. Now, what I don't pay is back taxes and liens. All right. Now, when I'm actually on the front end of that transaction, negotiating and talking to the seller, I'm going to say a line that sounds like this. I'm going to say, hey, Mr. Seller, good news. We can pay X amount of dollars and we can even pay all of the closing costs. The only thing that we do not cover or pay is back taxes and liens. Let me ask you, Mr. Seller, are there any liens or back taxes on the property that we need to be aware of? Boom. That's your line to get them to tell you if there's back taxes and liens on the property, okay? I don't know why sellers believe that back taxes and liens are a part of the closing costs. They are not. I pay Uncle Sam enough. I am not going to pay anybody else's taxes. I'm just not. All right. And so that's how I tee that up. It's very good, just on a side note, to set that expectation. The reason I set that expectation now is because I've had several investors, or not investors, several sellers tell me or think that I was going to be responsible for paying that. And so now, no, I set that expectation at the beginning. And I would recommend you do the same just to prevent any hiccups or mix-ups. Okay. Now, of course, there is a caveat to that where everything is negotiable. There has been instances where, let's say, for example, where we have a vacant lot that's under contract. And in vacant lots here in Dallas, especially in Houston too, when we're doing them, the city will go out there and cut the grass. Well, when they go out there and cut the grass, they're not charging you $100 like my landscaper charges me here at the house, right? No, that's normally $500, $600, $700 every single time they go out there. And so it's easy to accumulate, $10,000 worth of mowing liens on a vacant lot. Now, if the seller already isn't getting much in their pocket, there has been instances where, okay, we might split that or something of that nature. But again, that's very few and far between. Okay. It's very deal by deal, case by case in those scenarios. So don't be opposed to it if it's going to kill your deal, right? If that deal doesn't go to the closing table at the end of the day, you don't get paid. So I'd rather you walk away with something than, than nothing, so to speak. So just know that. Now, surveys on the contract, I let the actual seller know that if they don't have a survey, the end buyer will pay it. We, as the end buyer, will order a new one, we'll pay it. I'll put that on the contract. So if the end buyer needs a survey, then guess what? They're going to be responsible for paying it, and they're going to be completely okay with it because that's going to be on the contract. When it comes to agent fees, now the seller typically is responsible for paying the agent fees, okay? Not vice versa. So the whatever agent commission, that's going to come out of the seller's proceeds, okay? So I don't want you to think that you're going to be responsible for that. Now, I am talking about a traditional wholesale, okay? If you're doing something more creative, like a novation, then yes, we pay the agent fees, but that's a creative deal. Okay. Are you with me? So on a traditional one, that's going to come out of the seller's proceeds. Any type of inspections or anything like that, that's typically going to fall on your end buyer. All right. But most of these houses are going to be sold completely as is. So they're actually not even requesting for an inspection. All right. But the fees are very simple. I would say most of them are going to be passed on to your end buyer, but that's about it, y'all. Don't worry. Most of that stuff is not going to come out of your assignment fee at all. So just rest assured in that and go out there and start closing deals and don't sweat those small fees. Y'all have a blessing.